Good evening. We're going to see them by day. The exception really being the north of Scotland, where here we've got some quite severe weather in store for tonight. And the reason for that is this area of low pressure, quite deep area of low pressure too, which is approaching very rapidly. It's got winds gusting to 60 miles an hour in Shetland just at the present time. Those gale force winds swinging across the mainland of Scotland tonight, and then eventually down through the North Sea during tomorrow. Much lighter winds as you go further west, but quite a brisk northeasterly developing through the English Channel during Saturday afternoon. A few showers scattered around the coast at the moment, but most of the showers of a wintry flavour are over there in northern parts of Scotland, and some blizzard conditions to come tonight, particularly for Highland and Grampian. The northeast of Scotland seeing some very strong winds indeed, some deep snow coming down onto the mountains, and some snow settling on lower ground as well. So if you are travelling tonight up in that northern part of Scotland, please take extra care. Very windy and very wintry weather indeed. Somewhat clearer weather following by the morning, but even so, frequent snow showers following on behind. Elsewhere, it's a very cold night, a frosty night. Temperatures down to -3 or -4 degrees. There could be 1 or 2 icy patches on the roads almost anywhere. Now by the end of tomorrow we'll see this ridge of high pressure coming along, the low pressure moving away into the southern part of Norway. So a good deal of sunshine to come on Saturday for England and Wales, but even so there'll be 1 or 2 showers down the western side, a bit of hail and sleet mixed in them, and during the course of the afternoon some of that bad weather feeding down the North Sea coast, so some wintry showers feeding down through Yorkshire into Norfolk by the end of the day. Elsewhere over northern Britain there'll be some showers scattered about, some quite blustery ones too, but always it's the northeast of Scotland which is likely to see the worst of those showers, and certainly the lowest temperature about 5. In the south about 9 to 11, very much the same as it was today. Well, a widespread frost again tomorrow night, temperatures very much the same as they are tonight. High pressure though for much of England and Wales during Sunday, but this little system wriggling through the far north will bring a little rain to the northwest of Scotland, most places having a fine day, and that goes for Monday as well, but quite stiff winds in the south could bring a shower to the southeast coast. And that's it from me.
Northern parts of Scotland, 1948, Aberdeen, their northern parts of Scotland, their coldest night since 1948, Aberdeen, their earliest snow for at least 51 years. Mind you, things are going to change in the north of Scotland as the high tilts a little bit. We will lose those quite cold northerly or northwesterly winds, and across the north of Scotland at least they're going to be replaced by southwesterly ones, so temperatures there will rise. On the other hand, across the south of the country, those northeasterly winds, if anything, are likely to strengthen and make it feel even colder. Now on the latest radar picture there are still some showers across that northern part of Scotland, 1 or 2 filtering down into the north of Northern Ireland as well, and a good few of those showers are of a wintry flavour, giving some further sleet or snow or hail as well. But for most places it's simply going to be a fine evening followed by a fine night, clear skies, maybe just a little bit of ice around in some of the parts of Northern Ireland and central and northern Scotland, because it isn't going to be long before those temperatures drop well below freezing, certainly during the course of the evening, and by the end of the night another sharp frost virtually everywhere. Near to the coast and in the south, and more particularly in the Channel Islands, those temperatures will be holding above freezing, and actually in the Channel Islands there could be just 1 or 2 light showers. Tomorrow a very simple story. In most places it should be dry with a good deal of sunshine. There will be a change taking place though in the north of Scotland, the last of the wintry showers moving away from Shetland, and then during the second half of the day some clouds spilling in from the west, bringing with it some outbreaks of chiefly light rain and drizzle. Maybe the odd lightest shower coming onto the coast of East Anglia and in the Channel Islands, but everywhere tomorrow it is going to be another cold day. Thank you, John. Good afternoon. Well, we've seen records tumbling these last couple of mornings, and today was no exception. Once again, we've seen some record-breaking low temperatures at Birmingham, for instance, down to -6, and Glasgow was also very cold indeed, down to -8. And that really gives us a hint to what's going to come in the week ahead, because the emphasis is very much on cold and frosty weather. Now we have an area of high pressure across us at the moment, so hardly surprising that it's quiet and settled. There are some weakish fronts just brushing past northern areas. It's a good time, incidentally, to set the barometer. Give it a tap and it should be reading around about 1,030, 1,032 millibars, coming up to 30.5 inches. Now on the satellite picture, not much cloud around, just 1 or 2 specks across the coastal areas there, and some thicker cloud across the north of Scotland. That's where that weak front was. It is producing, as you see here on the radar, some outbreaks of rain, and there are just the odd light showers brushing close to those coasts, more particularly across East Anglia, the southeast, and into the Channel Islands. So we'll find more cloud across Scotland. In fact, some clouds spilling across Scotland during the afternoon, the sunshine turning rather more hazy there. But most of the rain, if there is any, is going to be in the far north, and that's going to be only light, to say the least. So most places will be enjoying unbroken sunshine and clear blue skies. Quite a stiff breeze blowing across the more southern parts of the country. and something of a wind picking up in the northwestern parts as well. So it is going to be a cold afternoon. Certainly that is going to be the case, particularly so in the south with that strong wind accentuating the cold feel. And then during this evening, once again, those temperatures taking a tumble as the sun goes down. Frost becoming quite widespread later on in the night. Temperatures again as low as about -4. Perhaps holding up in the south, the breeze there, and somewhat milder weather coming into the far northwest as well, where there will be a good deal of cloud. Another thing about tonight, we haven't seen the last couple of nights, is I think we'll have some patches of fog around by the end of the night, and that fog, freezing fog of course. The area of high pressure still well and truly on the scene through Monday, so another fine day, some fog and frost early and late. Cloud thickening up again in the northwestern corner of Scotland, some rain arriving there probably during the evening. Where the fog lingers, it's going to end up a pretty cold day, and not all that warm really in other areas either. On Tuesday the high pressure is still there, although beginning to pull away to allow a frontal system to come down across Scotland, bringing some outbreaks of rain. But for the rest of the country it's a case of fog and frost early and late, and then a rather chilly but bright day. By Wednesday, though, the high pressure will have pulled right away to allow that front to come down, bringing outbreaks of rain through most parts of the country, only lightish rain when it gets down to the south, and then it's going to reintroduce those quite cold north to northwesterly winds. So once again we're going to find wintry showers feeding down across the north of Scotland. High pressure, though, back on the scene for the latter part of the week, the odd shower near to eastern coast. Otherwise, once again,